Okay, so, like, imagine a world of, knights and castles.
And plague.
Yeah, and plague. That's what we're diving into today. French literature from the Middle Ages.
It's a fascinating period, full of contrasts.
Right, like, we've got these excerpts for a potential episode titled, get this, of Knights, Ladies, and Plague Rats.
Catchy.
Total clickbait.
Yeah.
But it gets at something.
Definitely. It really captures the essence of the era.
So let's get into it. One thing that always comes up is courtly love. It's everywhere in this literature.
Right. But it's often misunderstood.
Yeah, it's not just about serenading ladies and writing poems, right?
Not at all. It was much deeper than that. Think of it more as like a code of conduct.
Code of conduct.
Yeah. It shaped behavior, especially in courtly circles, influenced how people interacted, men and women especially.
So it's almost like it was reflecting, but also kind of dictating social norms.
Exactly. Literature often does that, right? Reflects and shapes the world it comes from.
Totally. And all of this is happening within a rigid social hierarchy, right?
Right.
It wasn't exactly a society known for its flexibility.
Right. And that tension between societal rules and individual desires plays out a lot in the literature.
It's like the ultimate backdrop for drama. Speaking of drama, we can't talk about this period without mentioning, like, the OG of Arthurian legends in France, Chrétien de Troyes.
Ah, Chrétien. He was a master storyteller.
He really was. Took those stories, they were already around, but he made them, French.
He gave them a French flavor, for sure, and he made them popular. But more than that, he gave them a depth that they didn't have before.
Like how?
Well, take Lancelot, for example. Before Chrétien, he's this great knight, brave and chivalrous.
Yeah, classic hero.
Right. But Chrétien makes him human.
Yeah.
He gives him flaws, internal conflicts. Suddenly, he's this guy torn between his duty to Arthur and his love for Guinevere.
The love triangle to end all love triangles.
Exactly. And that kind of complexity, those internal struggles, that's what Chrétien brought to these stories. Yeah. And that's what makes them resonate even today.
It makes them, timeless, Okay, so we've got knights, we've got courtly love, but what about the music? Cue the troubadours.
The troubadours. Yeah. The rock stars of their time.
Right, like traveling minstrels, going from court to court, singing their songs.
More than just singers, though. They were like social commentators.
Yeah.
Chroniclers of their age.
Well, they weren't just singing about, love and heartbreak.
Oh, they sang about those things, too. But they also used their music to talk about, the issues of the day. Politics, social injustice, things like that.
Kind of like early protest songs.
Exactly. They were the voice of the people, often using satire and wit to get their point across.
See, I love this stuff. It reminds us that even back then, people found ways to make their voices heard, to challenge the status quo.
Absolutely. Art has always been a powerful tool for that.
Speaking of powerful art, we got to talk about the Romance of the Rose. Now, this one is a trip.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure. An allegory within an allegory.
Yeah, I remember trying to read it in college. It's dense.
It's definitely not a light read, but it's fascinating. Basically, it takes this idea of a garden.
Okay, standard love story setting.
Right, you'd think so.
Yeah.
But every element, every flower, every fountain, it all represents something else. It's all symbolic.
Deep, man. So what's the takeaway? What's Jean de Meun trying to tell us with all this symbolism?
I think he's exploring the complexities of, everything. Love, desire, human nature, the search for happiness. It's all there, hidden in the symbolism.
Whoa. So basically it's a giant metaphor for, the human condition.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about how we navigate the world, the choices we make, the forces that shape our lives.
Wow. It's amazing to me how so much of this stuff, written hundreds of years ago, still feels relevant.
I know, right?
Yeah.
These themes, love, honor, the struggle for justice, they're timeless. They transcend time and place.
For sure. And maybe that's why we keep coming back to these stories. They offer something to us, even today.
Perspective, maybe. A reminder that we're not so different from those who came before us.
I like that. All right, well, on that note, I think we've done our deep dive for the day.
You've barely scratched the surface. But it's a start.
Right, it's a starting point. And if anyone out there is inspired to, pick up some medieval French literature after this.
Be warned, it can be addictive.
No, seriously, it's a whole world waiting to be discovered.
All right, until next time, happy reading, everyone.